In the last session we were discussing about the Android application development. Okay, so let me explain briefly about Android. Android is an open source mobile operating system, and it was originated from a small software company which was acquired by Google, and it is now owned by OHA or Open Handset Alliance. So OHA is a consortium of a large number of companies including Google, Sony, Dell, HTC, Intel, then Samsung Electronics, LG Electronics, T-Mobile, etc. Okay, so Android includes a free tool called Android SDK that also we have discussed in the previous session. So the SDK allows the developers to develop applications to run on Android operating system. So why the Android SDK is free? Because it makes use of only the non-proprietary techniques such as Java programming and extensible markup languages or XMLs. And also Android is based on Linux operating system, which is an open source operating system. That is why Android is an open tool. Okay, so Android also includes a large number of APIs or application programming interfaces such as Android Graphics, Android Media, Android OpenGL, Android Telephony, then widgets, database, SQLite, content, app, etc. So the developers can make use of these APIs while developing the applications. Now let's move on to the Android software stack structure or the Android architecture. As we all know, we have discussed it in the third module itself. So let me explain it once more. So Android is having a 4-layered architecture, and it consists of 4 layers such as kernel, libraries and Dalvik virtual machine or Android runtime, and application framework and the application layer. These are the 4 layers of Android software stack. So let me explain each layer in detail. So the basic or the core layer or the bottommost layer of Android software stack is the Linux kernel. So as we know, the Android is based on Linux 2.6 kernel, and this layer is the abstraction layer between hardware and rest of the software stack. So this layer communicates between the hardware and the software, that is rest of the software stack. Okay, so the basic services provided by this layer includes power management, networking, memory management, and device drivers. Okay, so let me conclude. It helps in software or hardware for binding the better communication. That is, it manages the communication between the software part and the hardware part. That is the purpose of the Linux kernel. Okay, so the second layer is the libraries and Android runtime. Okay, so Android consists of its own libraries and core libraries. Okay, so the Android libraries which are written in C or C++ cannot be accessed directly. So how can it be accessed? It can be accessed with the help of an application framework. So this can be utilized for the application development, and the libraries include the web libraries for accessing web browsers, then libraries for video formats, then for the accessing the database, etc. And next is the Android runtime. The same layer consists of Android runtime, and it is designed specifically for Android to meet the needs of running in an embedded environment, which is having limited battery, limited memory, limited processing power, etc. Okay, so we have a separate virtual machine for Android, that is the Dalvik virtual machine that we have already told. So it is a virtual machine for the Google's Android operating system. So it runs the apps on Android devices. That means it will be converting the Java bytecodes into Dalvik bytecodes. So it is an integral part of the Android. And the programs, we know that programs are written in Java, and it will be compiled using Java virtual machine and converted it to Java bytecode. So the Dalvik virtual machine will be converting these bytecodes into Dalvik bytecodes. Okay, and the core libraries, those will be written in the Java programming language. These can include the classes, utilities, and other tools. Okay, so these are also used for the development of applications. Okay, so next layer is the application framework layer. So what is a framework? It is a structure. Actually, it will provide a structure or a standard or a set of services that allows the application programmers to reduce the development effort, and it will give a standard structure to the applications. അല്ലേ, ഓരോ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് ഡെവലപ്പേഴ്സ് ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻസ് ആകുമ്പോൾ തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും അതിന് ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് സ്ട്രക്ചേഴ്സ് ആയിരിക്കും സാധ്യത, അല്ലേ. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ അങ്ങനെ ആവാതെ ഒരു സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് സ്ട്രക്ചർ പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് ഒരു ഫ്രെയിം വർക്ക് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഫ്രെയിം വർക്കിൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ടൂൾ കിറ്റ്സ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ ഒരു സ്ട്രക്ചറിലാണ് ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻസ് ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്നതെങ്കിൽ it will be providing a uniformity. So an application framework is a set of services that not only turn out to be handy to be used by the application programmer, but also it reduces the development effort and gives a standard structure to the applications written by various developers. Okay, so an application framework includes a set of user interface primitives to build the interface for an application, such as lists, grids, text boxes, buttons, etc. Okay, and it also includes the content providers, the notification manager, resource manager, telephony manager, etc. Okay, these are the major components in the application framework. That is activity manager that manages the life cycle of the applications, resource manager that manages the resources, and notification manages the custom alerts, and the telephony manager which manages the connection. Okay, so all these are the components of application framework. And next is the final or topmost layer in the Android software stack, which is the application layer. Okay, so it is the most upper layer of Android, and it includes all the applications such as camera, Google Maps, browsers, small SMS, calendar, etc. Okay, these applications will be developed using Java, and it can be also it can be considered as the native applications of a device and all. Okay, so it directly works with the end user, and it will be directly interacting with the user. That is the application layer. It includes this contacts, phone, browser, etc. Okay, so these are the 4 layers of an Android software stack or Android architecture, and you can refer to the notes of the module 3 also. Okay, finally let me discuss about some of the advantages and disadvantages of Android. So the application development in the Android platform is becoming popular due to the few major advantages. First one is like Android is an open platform, so the applications developed on the Android platform can be ported to almost all type of cell phones. Okay, and next is regarding the memory. Android requires a very low footprint of 250 KB, and Next advantages regarding some of the tools provided by Android. So it provides Android SDK to develop applications, and also regarding the installation, and the application installation on emulator or device is possible via the ADB or Android Debug Bridge or via Eclipse. Okay, so nowadays we are not using Eclipse. Then it also provides a set of libraries for media access, communication, data transfer, etc. Okay, and next thing is it offers a database, a real database called SQLite for the data manipulation and data sharing across applications. Okay, and it also has an integrated web browser which gives an experience similar to the web browsing using PCs. Okay, so that is another advantage. And another main advantage is like it provides a good documentation. It provides an excellent documentation that covers most basic and important techniques that help to effortlessly develop an application. Okay, and another advantage is like it uses the extremely popular, powerful and open programming language Java. Okay, so these are the main advantages of using Android for the mobile application development. And few disadvantages are also there. They are like regarding the security issues, often there will be malwares. And the second thing is like it causes the battery drain. Okay, why? Because the Android operating system has a lots of process running in the background that causes the battery drain. Okay, and there may be some hanging issues and stability, and it requires continuous internet connection, etc. So these are few disadvantages. So here comes the end of the module 4.